Morning, everyone. Today's topic was interesting for me because what I'm going to cover in the next 15 minutes, which is actually going to be quite difficult to do, is a lot of the things that we actually don't talk about externally. You know, everyone's going to hear about data and about disruption. So when I was putting together these slides, what I wanted to do this morning was share with everyone here exactly how we use all of our data to disrupt. I mean, the music industry is, has been through a tremendous amount of disruption in the past 50 years. When you think about the vinyl, to the cassette, to the CD, to then when Napster ruled the world, and then came iTunes, and now it's really the world of streaming. So what I did this morning was kind of break it up into three parts. I thought we could give you a little bit of the history of Spotify, which will be a little video that we put together last year, which is already severely out of date. We thought it would last longer than that. And then I wanted to talk about our milestones. And we have one particular milestone that really changed our business around the whole mobile revolution. And then we'll end with what we're building for music lovers around the world. And a lot of that comes from very, very heavy insight into data. So, the history of Spotify. You know, when we think about who we are today, so we're a music app, we're in 58 countries around the world and growing. We have 30 million songs a touch away. And we add 20,000 tracks to our catalog every single day. And so it's really something that's absolutely growing. The more countries we launch into, it's not just about bringing Spotify to that country, but it's also about being able to bring that local music catalog to the rest of the world. So the next thing I'm going to share with you is a little clip of the history of Spotify. You'll see us back in 2006 when we were in beta, when we launched in 2008, and then everything that we've covered in terms of the growth of the music, our partnership with Facebook, our apps, and finally it'll come to where we are today. joined the company when we launched in Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong back, about 2.5 years ago. And we actually put together this video at the beginning of last year. And when we're looking at the most recent stats that I can share with you, it's really amazing what has happened just in the past 18 months since we put that together. We're now in 58 countries. In terms of the amount of revenue that we've given back to the music industry, we went from $500 million to $3 billion in 18 months. And I think our user growth has been the most phenomenal. We've gone from 24 million users to 75 million users across the world, and 10 million to 20 million subscribers just in the past year. So when you think about the world of streaming, it's really something that has developed vastly. I think hearing from Mark and iFlix, so we're talking about music, whether you're talking about video, it's really the new way that we're living now. So that was just a little bit about how much or how fast Spotify has grown in the past 7 years. When it comes to milestones, there was really one specific milestone that really changed our business. When, I guess before December of 2013, if you wanted to listen to Spotify or use Spotify on your mobile phone, you had to be a subscriber. But we had just launched in Asia 6 months prior. And what the data was telling us was fantastic. People were using it on the desktop. But what everyone really, really wanted was to access it on their mobile. So we turned that on. So in December of 2013, we actually turned on Spotify free, or what we call the mobile free tier. And all of a sudden, you could actually access Spotify for free on your mobile. And I mean, that's, again, quite old data, but it's just shot up. And again, when we look at what we're seeing out here in Asia, and we look at countries like the Philippines, it's not even a multi-screen, it's not mobile first, it's mobile only, because 80% of our users in the Philippines only access us on mobile. They completely skip the desktop experience. And we're actually seeing that with a lot more emerging countries across Latin America as well. And what this means, again, for us as a company is everything that we will continue to build, we actually build for mobile first and desktop second. And digital, I mean, music streaming or streaming everywhere is definitely here to stay. We've seen a 79% surge in music apps in the past year. And we very recently looked at the amount of music that was streamed just on Spotify in the last 5 years. So in the last 5 years, there have been 25 billion streams on Spotify. And to put that into perspective, if one of us was to listen to Spotify for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it would take you 3 million years to go through that amount of music. And this is an incredibly interesting stat for us as a company because we work so closely with the music industry, and this is what music labels like to hear. Just just to know that, yes, people are moving towards streaming, and as we grow and the whole industry grows, it's just going to be even better for the music industry. And our hope is really to bring them back to the heyday of the CDs. So the last section is probably my favorite. It's all of the things that we're doing to build for the music lover today. When you think about Spotify, we're actually still a really small company. There's 1,000 of us that work across the entire world for servicing 58 countries. So this is what people think we look like externally. Everyone's like, Spotify, rock and roll. You guys must be like hang out with Flo Rida all the time. So not true. This is who we really are. We are a bunch of data geeks. I was hired for my math skills, not my music taste. I can definitely attest to that. And everything that we do is around data. the past kind of year and a half, we've actually acquired 2 companies, the EchoNest and Seat Scientific. And those 2 companies really power everything that we do around sort of building for our user. And one of the things that we've seen really recently is the way people look for music. You know, with any disruptor, you think and you talk about assumptions that you make. And we always thought, yeah, you know, people are going to go onto Spotify and they're going to look for pop and rock and classical music. And after a while, we realized that wasn't the case. People look for moments. So when they're commuting or they're working or, you know, they've got a whole bunch of people over there at their house and they just want a party playlist. So we started grouping the music around moments. And then we looked at all the moments that live on Spotify. And there was one moment that really, really, really stuck out. And again, this is all from music intelligence data that we are looking at internally. The one moment that came up was when all of us drag ourselves out of bed in the morning, put on our sneakers, put in our headphones, and then scroll through looking for a running playlist to sort of get us out the door. So what we did was we thought, okay, we can take that piece of data, we can take that moment, and we can rebuild it, and we can give it back. I'm not sure how many people in the room use Spotify running, but yay, I can see a couple of hands at the back. But what we have done is we've taken the biggest, most popular moment, we've rebuilt it into a separate app. So now what you do is you go onto Spotify, you put on your sneakers, you put in your headphones, you pull up Spotify running, you pick a genre, and you run. And what it does is it measures and serves music based on your beats per minute.
Start running. Tempo detected.
We pushed out Spotify running globally in June. And actually, of everything that we've built and everything that we've done, this has actually gone down a real treat. So what you'll see in the next kind of, I guess, 6 to 12 months is more experiences built around the same feel, where we're taking a moment that's really coming up and we're building it, making it better, and pushing it back out into the world. So my last slide and last video is the third, I guess, part of the experience and another whole world of data that lives with us around what is trending in the music world. We have a platform called Emerge, and what it does is if you go back to any band that's up and coming and you're trying to break into the world's music scene, what you would do is you'd cut demos and you'd send them to every recording head in the world. So what we've done is we've disrupted finding new talent in a really, really large way, where, again, going back to scouring through data, finding like maybe 8 or 10 acts that are bubbling under, putting them on one platform, pushing them out to the world, and then leaving the rest in the hands of music fans. This is actually something, again, we don't talk about a lot externally. We usually partner quite quietly with the brand to do this. But Spotify, along with brands across the world, have broken the likes of Bastille, Foster the People. We were a big part of Lorde. And in this video, we'll kind of show you how we actually broke another big band that I'm hoping a few of you will be familiar with. We actually just ran an Emerge program in the Philippines and found an absolutely fantastic 22-year-old rapper. So hopefully in the next few months, you'll be hearing about a young man called Shei across the world. So in summary, everything that we've kind of talked about, and like I said, I wanted to really share with you how we use data to build everything that we do internally. But the one thing that's very, very certain to us is this is really only the beginning. You know, we've been at it for 6 years, but we've got so much more to grow and so much more to learn. Users really drive and form us. There's very few decisions that we make at Spotify without looking at data, which is the center of our world. So with that, I thank you.